Severe storms are triggering a WRAL weather alert day. Flooding, damaging winds, and even an isolated tornado. I'll walk you through each threat and who could see them.
Then people pulled from submerged cars and a truck stuck in a sinkhole, where we're seeing storm damage and flooding in the WRAL storm tracker.
Then he helped stop an assassination attempt on former President H.W. Bush. New at 7, our live conversation with a former FBI assistant director about the Secret Service leader's testimony in front of Congress today.
Here we are right now at 7 o'clock as we take a live look at an active radar tonight as we track some storms pushing through. Heavy downpours are leading to some flooding and some problems, as you saw off the top there on the roads, as much of our area is under a risk of severe weather tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Haggerty.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. You can see some really dark skies in Fayetteville. Now, look at all those clouds there. Today is a WRAL weather alert day. We have live team coverage of the threat and the impacts. Let's begin now with meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Kat?
And the strongest storm that we're watching right now is moving out of Fayetteville, moving into Sampson County. But there's still an active radar here this evening as we continue to track some heavy rain and some strong storms. So the strongest storm is going to be tracking closer to Clinton, moving close to Roseboro right now. A lot of lightning and some weak rotation still within this storm that we'll continue to monitor. I've been watching each scan of the radar come in. Not as strong at this point, but we're watching that storm for you in Sampson County. And some additional showers moving into Durham and northern Durham County. There's some more lightning showing up there. Nothing in Wake County right now. Futurecast does show the possibility of a little bit more rain. Another batch moving through the triangle later tonight. That's 9-10 o'clock. And by 10 o'clock, just a few isolated showers and storms linger. I don't think that we're going to see all the overnight rain and thunder, lightning that we saw last night. Just that small chance into early tomorrow morning. And then things should really quiet down for us. Brian Schrader is standing by in the WRAL Live Center with a closer look at some of the impacts on the roads. Brian.
Kat, we're looking better in Wake County, but certainly still seeing some problems in Durham County as we take a look at a still image from that DOT camera at I-85 at 15501. Pretty heavy rain coming down there when this was taken just a few minutes ago, and you can see where the roads are pretty wet. However, as I mentioned, in Wake County, things are improving. Traffic has started to ease up nicely, and the heaviest rain has stopped falling across Wake County, and the roads are starting to dry out a little bit. Over in Durham earlier this afternoon, we had some pretty heavy rain and a sinkhole that opened up and swallowed a truck. Let's check in with Aaron Thomas in the WRAL Storm Tracker live in front of that sinkhole. Crazy scene there, Aaron.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to sum it up, Brian. In fact, you can see there's the sinkhole is now surrounded by tape. You had first responders and tow truck crews that worked very hard. You're talking hours to get this truck removed from this massive sinkhole as a result of flash flooding. Now, we want you to look at this video that we captured the moment crews removed this Ford F-150 from the sinkhole. You can hear the horn blaring the entire time. The driver of the truck was trying to leave this area off of 15501 when poor visibility and a massive hole in the roadway caused the truck to end up in the ditch. It took two separate tow companies working together over the course of 3 hours to get the truck out of the hole.
I feel like heroes out here, and it's a good brothership, a brotherhood, that we all take care of each other and look out for each other, make sure everybody's being safe. And we want to free up these roads as quick as possible and get everybody on their way home nice and safe. And we feel like heroes out here.
Yeah, and so the good news is that those tow truck folks, they actually managed to get everything out right before another round of storms move into the area. You have to really, give it up for them as well as first responders are putting themselves in harm's way. Both the driver and passenger are okay. Aaron Thomas, WRAL News, live in Durham.
What a mess. Make sure you have the WRAL News app so you can take the radar with you. It's free wherever you download your apps.
Speaking of a mess, how about RDU? Let's take a live look out there now. Travelers are still feeling the impacts of that global outage from Friday. 166 flights were delayed today. 43 of them were canceled. Delta remains the hardest hit airline right now, and that outage is in addition to severe weather that's also causing problems. It's just one thing after the next. Delta has been the airline hardest hit by this. Some people tell us that they've been trying to get home for days now with no luck. Travelers impacted by the computer outage were owed a meal as well as some hotel vouchers.
Better late than never. An Amazon fulfillment center is starting to show signs of life in Fayetteville. The massive facility with its new jobs, it was supposed to open last year. WRAL's Gilbert Bays spoke to an Amazon rep who says the delay isn't stopping the company in its plans to hire 1,000 people at the site.
Well, the cars in the parking lot tell the story. This Amazon fulfillment center near Fort Liberty is finally open. That's the good news. The better news is they're still hiring more people. We've watched the new Amazon fulfillment center grow just about brick by brick. The massive building has been empty for more than a year. But in June, Amazon started hiring employees online. City leaders aren't concerned about the delay.
You know, they delayed the opening of it to make it a bigger facility. Now it's almost 1.5 million square feet. It's going to hire up to 1,000 people or more, and it's a positive thing for the city, and we're glad to see them here.
In an email, Amazon described what's going on inside the facility located just outside of Fort Liberty. We're told employees at the facility receive inventory, sort it, then ship it out to various other Amazon cross-docks for further consolidation before it's transported to various fulfillment centers nearby that fulfill and ship customer orders. Originally, the city and county offered an impressive incentives package to lure the company here. Amazon turned it down. The fact that they didn't take the incentives, what does that mean for the company? What does it mean for the city?
The fact that they didn't take it speaks to who they are as a company. They're still coming in. They provided the tax-based investment of 1.5 million square foot facility, and they're hiring people and putting people to work in the city of Fayetteville, and so we're appreciative of that.
So once again, the parking lot tells the story. It's packed right now, but if you look over here, there's a whole lot of empty parking spots, which means there's a lot more jobs that Amazon plans to hire. In Fayetteville, Gilbert Bays, WRAL News.
So Amazon says job seekers can apply online. We have information on how to do that with this story at WRAL.com.
So Governor Cooper is on the short list to be the potential Democratic VP candidate. Why? Well, is it because of his Instagram page dedicated to crazy amounts of pets that he owns, where he posts content like this? No. Probably not. I doubt that's come up. It's more likely that the Harris team thinks that Cooper is a winner. And it's clear that they want to win North Carolina specifically. I mean, every time you turn around, Kamala Harris is here. She's at an event, speaking to a school, holding a fundraiser, getting on the local news, that sort of thing. And she's always touting big things from Cooper. We've got a story about this right now on our website titled The 5 Reasons Why Roy Cooper Could Be a VP, where Harris is quoted in saying things that he's a great leader or, quote, a dear friend. But it's more than that, obviously, and could boil down to Roy Cooper's superpower, you could call it, his ability to win over undecided voters or even people leaning to the right. It's actually kind of insane. I mean, in a purple state like North Carolina that often leans Republican, Cooper isn't just good, he is perfect. He is undefeated. This guy hasn't lost a political race here in 40 years. WRAL state government reporter Paul Spey has been out ahead of this coverage for weeks now. Paul, what can you tell us? What is Cooper's secret to winning in North Carolina as a Democrat?
Right, and you're exactly right. His career really stands out. One thing that's helped Cooper win North Carolina is he's from rural North Carolina. He was born on a tobacco farm in Nash County. Voters out there have become more conservative over the years, but Cooper's continued to win their support because he can relate to them. That's helped him win 6 statewide elections in a row dating back to when he first ran for Attorney General in the year 2000. That includes election cycles where Republicans also had big years. He became governor in 2016 by beating incumbent Republican Pat McCrory, you may remember. In the same year, Donald Trump carried this state. Cooper then won again in 2020. He even got more votes than Trump that year. So he's got this appeal that other candidates don't have. It makes sense that Harris or whoever the Democratic nominee may be would want to use him to reach out to voters in rural North Carolina or rural Pennsylvania or Wisconsin, places that Democrats really need to win to keep the White House. Now, a couple more things that might give him an advantage over some of the other candidates. Cooper's term is over at the end of this year. He can't run again. That means he's more available than some of these other governors under consideration. They have more time left on their terms, and hey, they may not want to abandon their post just yet. Also, Cooper has known Harris for 20 years. She was Attorney General of California from 2011 to 2017 when Cooper was the Attorney General of North Carolina. They ran in the same circles, they went to the same conferences, and she calls him a dear friend. That could also help Cooper's case when it comes to this VP pick.
All right, and you know, that could come any day. Honestly, we'll keep paying attention. The big question is, what's Cooper been saying about all of this? Now, our NC Capitol team has been asking him and his people about it for weeks, but with all of the uncertainty surrounding Biden's future, he repeatedly dodged that question. But today, he went from dodging VP rumors to just not denying them, which is actually a pretty big step in politics. You can find more analysis and in-depth discussions on this very topic on the WRAL Daily Downloads, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Less than 24 hours after Biden's announcement, Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, campaigned solo for the first time as the Republican vice president nominee. In the coming days, former President Trump will make a campaign stop in North Carolina. He will be in Charlotte for a rally at Bojangles Coliseum Wednesday night. You can count on WRAL for coverage of that rally. And coming up, Medicaid will soon cover weight loss drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic. Why doctors say this is a step in the right direction.
St. Augustine's University will, in fact, keep its accreditation. The 150-year-old HBCU has been going back and forth over this accreditation with the accreditation agency for months now, and now a committee has ruled in the school's favor. WRL's Destiny Patterson found out what this means as classes are just about to prepare to start for the new school year.
The university is still on probation. They posted this roadmap to their website, and on it, it says that they have until December, the end of the year, to resolve all areas of noncompliance. Campus seems calm, but inside interim president Marcus Burgess's office, the clock has started.
This is a happy moment in time, but it's not the final moment.
The organization that accredits the university reinstated its membership. The university needs to prove it's in good shape financially by December. Burgess says that includes providing 3 completed audits.
This is a deal breaker if we don't complete these 3 audits by the time frame at the end of this calendar year.
It's a process that could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Is 4 months enough time to get all that done and raise all of that money?
So, getting the work done? Yes, we can get the work done.
He says most of the funding will require community support. WRAL has covered IRS tax liens, missed pay for faculty and staff, as well as incorrect student balances.
Or how do students know that they're not going to return and it's going to be a repeat, or there are going to be more issues once they get to campus?
We're working on some really big revenue generating items to give us some cash flow, to give us some breathing room.
Burgess couldn't elaborate on all of the revenue streams the university is working on. However, he did tell us the university is working on a $7 million bridge loan.
We're just finalizing how we're going to pay it in the stages of being able to make the payments. We want to make sure we pay for all past payrolls.
How do we make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
Checks and balances. We got here because there was not proper checks and balances. My administration, my team has to make sure that my board is fully informed.
Burgess says this upcoming semester will be smaller compared to past semesters. The school is expected to welcome about 200 to 300 students next semester. That's about a third of the enrollment that they had pre-pandemic. He also says the school is pausing some academic programs, and he says faculty and staff is expected to be reduced about 30 to 40%. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Raleigh.
The head of the Secret Service is taking responsibility for the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. In a House committee hearing today, she called it, quote, the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades. Kimberly Cheadle said she apologized to Trump in a phone call after the rally. She said the roof where the shooter fired was identified as a vulnerability days before the rally. She also said the agency had been told about a suspicious person 2 to 5 times before the shots were fired.
There are a number of times at protective events where suspicious people are identified, and those individuals have to be investigated and determined what is it that identifies that person as suspicious.
So far, Cheadle has refused numerous calls for her resignation, saying that she remains focused on the security needs of the DNC, the UN General Assembly, and the 2025 inauguration.
Some good news for people on Medicaid. Starting next week, your coverage will include coverage for weight loss medications like the ones you see here. We know Wegovy, Ozempic, those names are in the news almost every night. WRAL News health reporter Grace Haba shares now the impact this will have on patients and the pleas from those still forced to pay out of pocket.
Starting August 1st, FDA-approved obesity management medications will be covered for Medicaid beneficiaries 12 years and older. It's a move some state employees hope may influence their coverage as well.
Paying over $1,000 a month out of pocket for the weight loss medication Wegovy has been a frustrating burden for Jessica Rieger to bear.
It's like a mortgage payment.
The Johnston County mom has lost over 100 pounds since starting Wegovy in 2022. But as a state employee, insurance no longer chips in.
Instead of taking it every 7 days, I'm taking it every 12 to 14 days to try to max out the prescription, because even with the coupon from Novo Nordisk, it's still $1,069 for me.
With physicians supporting the recent Medicaid coverage.
With this decision, we expect improvements in their chronic diseases, their overall health, and their quality of life.
Rieger says she's hopeful the state health plan will follow suit. WRAL took her question to State Treasurer Dale Falwell. He says coverage would likely return if manufacturers lowered costs.
Now we have people in Denmark, the home country of Novo Nordisk, who are only paying about $200 for this drug, and the drug companies are trying to charge the state health plan nearly $1,200 for this drug. The question still remains, why does it cost so much, and ultimately who has to pay for it?
In Raleigh, Grace Haba, WRAL News.
We got to talk about all of the rain that has been falling today. We have heard it numerous times over our studio here, Kat. It feels like this is just the storm that keeps going.
I know. I mean, it was last night, then you had it earlier today. There were a couple additional rounds. It has been coming down for a lot of us. The exception today has really been toward the Virginia line. There hasn't been much there, but check out some of these estimated rainfall totals between 2.5 and 4 inches closer to parts of Nash County. There is a flood advisory for parts of Nash, Edgecombe, and Halifax County until 7:45. So you've got 25 minutes left to go in that flood advisory. There's some light rain moving through Halifax and Northampton counties. A little bit of rain along I-85, but the area to watch is this thunderstorm that's moving into Sampson County. Previously, there was some rotation within these storms. It is weakened, but we're going to watch it for the next couple of hours. The severe weather threat should end by 9 o'clock tonight. We'll leave in the chance for some localized flooding through midnight. The WRAL Gardens enjoyed a nice drink of water today. They are looking green. I think grass for most people improving after the past couple of weeks and this big jet stream flip that we've had to bring all the rain. 78 degrees out there right now, the dew point 74, so it still feels very humid if you're headed out and about this evening, but things should quiet down for us. I don't expect to see as many showers and storms overnight. It's just an isolated chance. So if you have kids or pets that are
In our Wake County coverage, check it out. New apartments set to be built in the West End area of downtown Raleigh.
The mixed-use complex will be at the corner of West Cabarrus Street and Southwest Street. It'll be 5 stories, 252 luxury apartments, amenities, and retail space.
A lot of growth. So we are in the final days now before the highly anticipated Summer Olympic Games in Paris.
I feel like our country needs the Olympics right now.
I agree.
Just under 4 days to go until the opening ceremony, and there is no shortage of excitement. Among the most highly anticipated events, gymnastics and Simone Biles' Olympic return after addressing mental health concerns, and the twisties in the 2020 Games in Tokyo.
Where were you mentally going into the Tokyo Olympics?
I have very good, senses, and I knew something was going to go wrong. I couldn't pinpoint what it was or when it was going to happen, but I just had this feeling deep down, this is not going to go the way I want it to. In training, I was having twisties already.
We just saw Simone almost look like she got a little bit lost in the air.
I would literally tell my teammates, I'm fighting demons, but I'm trying to push past that.
Biles says she is ready to make her return. You can watch her alongside the rest of Team USA right here on WRAL. The Olympics opening ceremony kicks off on July 26th.
She seems focused.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Look out, world.
Thanks for making WRAL your choice for local news.
Our next newscast is at 10 o'clock on Fox 50, and then we'll see you back here on WRAL tonight for the news at 11. Have a great evening.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.